welcome back to an episode 12 of Inch Fanatic. Remember to subscribe. So I always get a tingle when I have an EXO-6 figure come in because it never disappoints. I have quite a few of the other Star Trek line. Take a look at those videos if you will. But one that I've been waiting for most of all is T'Pol. And this is from the Enterprise show. The show itself was kind of bad. Graphics were a little iffy. The casting was, but her character, I would say, and maybe you would argue differently, I would say she held the show together because she was so damn sexy. Especially in the one episode, I forget what it was, maybe it was season 1, maybe season 2, where she had to decontaminate or something in a chamber and had to strip down to her underwear. And I was like, oh, okay, they're obviously, the ratings are dipping and they had to throw this in there to boost things up again and maintain viewership. And for me, at least, it worked. But let's take a closer look at this figure and see what we got here.
So Jolene Vlalock, she's the actress that played T'Pol, and as far as I can tell, she didn't really do anything else before or after. I don't know if she felt she was typecasted or Hollywood felt she was typecasted. So the box, standard like they always do. They got the accessories pictured on the back here, a nice little pose of the figure, close-up of the bust here. Got the little observation window in the front here. Still waiting on my Beverly Crusher. That was supposed to come out a while ago. And I've seen other people get theirs on social media, which I'm a little jealous. Never helps when you're doing figure reviews and you're like the last guy to get the figure. All right, so right off the bat, it seems like the body might be a little too thick. She was pretty skinny, and I would say that the figure probably could be a little bit skinnier. The head sculpt itself, the eyes might be a little bit too bug-eyed. Yeah, I mean, it looks like her, but maybe they made the eyes too wide here. Nice gloss on them. Got her signature ears there. The hair is done nicely. A few layers to the paint on that. But yeah, I think mostly, I mean, the waist even, she had a very thin waist in the show. I think she wore a girdle. I remember watching a documentary and she was complaining about how uncomfortable the outfit was to wear on set. But her thighs look a little bit too thick, and even the bottom portion of her leg as well. So the pants have this elastic band under there. The shoes, just a plain sculpt, no extra paint to them. But you can tell the stitching is show accurate. And one thing that EXO is very good at is choice in materials and the quality of those materials and the stitching. So fantastic all around there. And I know it's hard to make a posable figure in the butt area especially, where it seems as seamless as possible. And I don't know why there's a crease on one side and not the other in the butt. A little lumpy there. The other side looks okay, although you can still see a slight crease there. Sideways, decent. Maybe it could come out a little bit further. Yeah, usual posability though that you see from the EXO figures. Good dexterity, not too stiff, not too loose. Good figure all around. And you've got some slight rotation there in the neck and in the head itself. All right. Maybe this will help the waist a little bit. Looks like we got a belt here, and that's made of rubber. And then her holster for her phaser, and that clips on the belt. Phaser itself looks like a single sculpt, no movement at all. Decent enough detailing on there and paint. Goes in there right like that. Good fit. A little loose. Tricorder. And that opens up. You got a little screen in there as well. And the Enterprise show was, I guess, the first. It's pre original Star Trek series, so the tools and technology was a little rudimentary compared to the entire series. And they got this as well. I think this is like a tricorder screen on there. Or is this the tricorder? I don't know. That comes off as well. Okay, looks like a SSD drive. You got a few extra hands in there. Oh my goodness, they got this thing in there. There we go. All right, so this is the signature base that they have with all of their EXO line figures. You could switch this out or have it like the transporter pad. And they all connect. There's connector pieces, so you could essentially create a whole pad for them as a set. And then a standard base connector there to hold the figure. And some of you might prefer the hook underneath in the crotch area. Some of you might prefer this one. There's pros and cons to each. One issue I have with the hook one is they tend to, like, if the legs aren't tight enough, they tend to spread out the legs. So this one's just fine. And then you've got also the signature name card here. And it's interesting because the writing is sideways. On other figures I've had, it's horizontally here. It's got a blueprint schematic of the NX-01 Enterprise. And as I pointed out in previous reviews, this is for a signature. So if you met Jolene at a convention, you could have her sign this, and then you can take it home and display it next to the figure, and it looks very nice. When I did my first 1 or 2 reviews of these EXO figures, I was like, why is the printing so small on the side, and then you got this big space here? Yeah, somebody brought it to my attention in the comments. I appreciated that. Seems obvious now, but so that's it. Let me get this thing set up and give you my final thoughts. All right, so here she is all set up. The belt was easy to put on, and it looks nice. It doesn't make her waistline look any slimmer though. But in working with the figure a little bit, I still have the same complaints about how thick the lower portion is, the legs. The head sculpt doesn't bother me as much as initially. There was just some initial shock there. I'm getting used to it. I decided to switch out the hand for her classic Vulcan pose. Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm going to give this figure a 9.1. I'm taking some points off just for the bulginess of the eyes and the thickness of the legs. I am kind of disappointed in how thick they made her. But great figure overall. It has the usual crispness and quality that you expect from EXO-6 figures. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time.